You know that you want to change your life. Maybe you have even known this for quite a long time. Or maybe the thought just arrived recently, unexpectedly, and now you cannot stop thinking about it. It could be work that actually uses who you are, or more time with the people that you love most. It could be something creative that you have been talking yourself out of for years. It could also be a direction that pulls you, that has always felt right, but never quite practical. And every time it surfaces, every single time actually, you shut it down. I should have figured this out by now, you tell yourself. But people like me don't do that. Or I cannot afford to start over again. Or what's wrong with me? Everything is fine. These thoughts pop up not because the thing is not real, but because wanting it out loud feels almost dangerous. It's like something you're not supposed to want. If that's how you feel, this video is for you. Because here is something worth remembering right now. This is not the first time you have stood in front of something that you could not fully see the other side of. There was a time where you said yes to something that you weren't sure you could handle. It could be a job, it could be a move, a relationship, or a decision that required more of you than you knew you had. There was a time where you left something that was stable but not true to you, and you discovered that you survived it, that something on the other side was waiting for you. There was a time where you became something that you had not been before. Perhaps it was a mother or a leader or someone who had been through something hard, and you found resources in yourself that you did not know to begin with were there. You have navigated the unknown before, not because you had a plan and not because you could see the whole path, but because you took the next step that was available to you and then the next one after that. And the reason it feels so much harder now is not because you are less capable than you were. It's because you have more. You have more to lose. You have more responsibility. You have more people who depend on you, and more of a life that has taken real effort to build. And the contrast between where you are and where you want to be feels enormous. And it's not because the gap is actually larger, but it's because the stakes feel so much higher. But the capacity that got you through everything before, that is still in you. You've just forgotten that it's there. Here is what actually makes change feel impossible. It's not the change itself. It's the way we look at it. When we have been suppressing something for a really long time, when our longing has been building quietly for months or even years, we tend to look at the whole thing at once. From here to the dream, the entire distance in one look. And of course, that feels impossible. Of course, it feels too far-fetched. Of course, the fear kicks in. What if I get it wrong? And what if I lose what I've built? What if I'm too late? What if I get there and it still is not enough? But none of those questions are actually about the next step you could take. They are about the last step, the final destination, the version of the future that is so far away that you cannot even see it clearly. And you're trying to decide right now from here whether you can reach that. And that is not a question you can answer yet. And the fact that you cannot answer it is not a reason to stay still. It's just a sign that you are asking the wrong question. The right question is not, can I get all the way over there? No, the right question is, what is the next small, honest step that I can take from where I'm at? So here is how real change actually works. It's not a leap. It's not a dramatic decision that requires you to know the whole answer before you begin. It is a spectrum of small movements, each one opening the next. The first movement is internal. Before anything changes on the outside, something needs to shift on the inside. This is where you stop managing the feeling and you actually start listening to it. This is where you get honest with yourself about what is actually true to you, not what you're supposed to want, but what you actually want. And this is harder than it sounds because it means stopping this inner monologue that shuts it down. You need to do that just for long enough to hear what is there. The second movement is a micro step. It's one small thing in the direction that feels true. It's not a big commitment. It's not a big plan. It's just a first honest movement towards something real. It could be a conversation or an hour spent on the work that lights you up. It could be one small experiment that lets you notice, yes, this feels right. Or no, not quite like this. The third movement is building alongside. This is where you start creating something new while your existing life continues. Not instead of it, but alongside of it. The old thing holds while the new thing begins to take shape. This is uncomfortable, don't get me wrong. You are carrying two things at once, but it means that when you eventually move towards a new thing, you're not stepping into a void. You're stepping into something that already has some form. And then the fourth movement is a gradual shift. This is where the balance changes. The new direction takes up more space, and the old thing takes up less. Not overnight, right? Gradually, and in a way that does not require you to blow everything up. And the fifth step, the full shift, if and when it comes, is not a dramatic leap. By then, it is simply the next natural step in something that's been unfolding for a while. Most people never reach that. And it's not because the change was not possible for them. It's because they were waiting until they were ready to do the whole thing at once. But what they miss is that you do not need to decide about step 5 to take step 1. You just need to be willing to begin. The thing is, there is no guarantee, right? You cannot know for certain whether you will reach exactly the place you are imagining right now. Life does not work that way. The path might change for you. You change. What you want in 5 years may look different from what you want today. But two things are true at the same time. You cannot know if you will get all the way there, and you cannot stay exactly where you are, right? Not really. Not without paying the price of that. Because staying still certainly has a cost too. It's just a more subtle one. It is a slow dimming of something that wanted to be heard, a version of yourself that never really got to show up. So the one thing you can actually do, the only thing any of us can do really, is to take that next small, honest step in the direction that feels true to you. Don't focus on the whole journey. Don't create a 5-year plan, just the next step. And then the next one after that. And that's not attempting to be a motivational line for you. It's just the actual mechanics of how anyone has ever changed anything real in their life. But remember, you have done it before and you can do it again. I hope this serves to remind you that you do not need to have it all figured out to begin, and you do not need to know exactly where it ends. You just need to decide that you are willing to take the first small, honest step towards something true. If this landed and you need to figure out where you actually are and how you could even begin focusing in one direction, there is a short assessment in the description. It takes 3 minutes, and it will not tell you what to do. It will help you see where you actually are right now. There's also a free 10-minute inner authority experience. It's also in the description, and it is a short guided audio. And think of it as the first questions to ask yourself on the journey you set out on. Both links are below, and deciding to get honest with yourself about where you are, that is always the right place to begin.